BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
This is the Yungblud podcast, so turn up that volume. Happy! This week we got a party legend on the podcast. The man who created one of the most outrageously fun nights in London. I want to chat to Glyn Fussell, who founded Sink the Pink, a legendary night for the LGBTQIA plus community. It began 10 years ago in East London, has grown like so unbelievably big since then. He's been credited with helping making like drag performance go to the mainstream along with RuPaul. He also hosts massive pride parties, so I wanted to chat to him about the importance of pride, the importance of community, and the importance of being and feeling together. As always, with this one, there's definitely some strong language. We're all a bit naughty here. Here's my chat with Glyn. Let's go! Fussell, man, how are you? What's popping?
Welcome to my drag bedroom, darling.
I just love your outlook and the kind of the value of community to you. Do you know what I mean? It's like such a thing I have in common with you, and that's what I want to talk about today because, I don't know, you built something and you started an idea and it became absolutely massive and it helps a lot of people and you're just a legend. So, like, let's get into it, man. You vibing?
That's a bloody intro, isn't it?
That is an intro. That is an intro for you. So, you were born in Bristol and you moved to London in 2007 and you had an idea to create something called Sink the Pink. For people who don't know what that is, will you tell us about it and, like, where did the idea come from?
The idea came from the needing it. Myself, me and my best friend Amy, we were both going out in London and we'd not found our tribe. We were just completely lost and we were both absolute reprobates, like always getting in trouble, always in trouble. We just couldn't deal with rules and we couldn't deal with... I feel like a lot of people come to London or come to wherever they need to get to with this idea. And for me, it was like I was going to be Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, but it just did not look like that. And, we were skinned and we were so disillusioned. We were both working in rubbish jobs and we'd gone out one night and Amy had her fake Mulberry bag stolen. And
oh no!
She's like,
worst.
she's like sobbing outside this club that I think we'd been chucked out because she kept trying to break back in to get the fake Mulberry bag.
Just been rowdy as.
I was obviously trying to give someone a blowjob in an alleyway, and it was just ending the night as we normally did, and we're just like, God, we're always being told what to do, and I think that the best things in life come from a reaction to something that's not happening, that you're not feeling.
100%. Like, kind of, it's almost like you stumble on an accident and then that accident becomes kind of your way of life.
And I think it only takes one person to see you. And she saw me and I saw her. And we had this joy that we found in each other that was so... it kind of like really fed my soul and vice versa. And the day after the thus Mulberry incident, we sat in the back garden and we're like, right, we can do this. We might not know that many people, but how hard can it be? And it was born really out of, we just wrote on a piece of paper the things we loved, the things we hated. And we loved trouble. We loved that like final day at a festival, when you're like wearing someone else's clothes and you've turned your pants.
Absolutely.
And you've turned your pants.
Man.
And your pants.
Freedom.
Yeah, freedom. And you're like in a van with loads of people you've never met. And all of these things, gender, not important. Body image, not important. Sexuality, not important. So we just went about it with joy. Like this infectious joy that we wanted to create something. And it was a real slow burner. Like it took a long time. But what never stopped was the joy that it gave us. And so we just started building our community until it ended up being this beast.
Massive beast.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I speak to a lot of queer friends and they just say it's just rowdy and it's literally like you come to London and go, I can actually be utterly myself right now. You know what I'm saying? I can kiss anyone I want. I can release this simmering pan that I've had in my stomach my whole life where I can't be who I truly am. And then I walk into that place and I just erupt. And that's amazing to me.
I feel like I've had many incarnations with it because it's been running now for 13 years, yeah? So I was always in the mosh pit before. Like, I was the one, literally... I don't know if I can say this, but getting fingered from every part of the car.
I'm down. I'll keep it in. You know I will. I'm a naughty boy.
And I was, the excess of the night was what I was feeding me, but you can only really live that for so long. And now I feel like I'm just granddaddy steering the ship for all the freaks that come to the club. And the one thing that you never stop getting in life are weirdos, misfits, freaks. You know this.
Absolutely.
You are the poster boy for all of those people now, and I think it's wonderful, which is why I'm so happy to talk to you.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. That's why I couldn't wait to have you on, because like if there's anyone out there listening to this podcast, like, and you feel different and you feel scared about whatever, if you feel scared about your depression, if you feel scared about your sexuality, if you feel scared about anything, the way you look, the way you dress, the way you talk, you don't have to, man. You are just wonderful by simply existing. There's never been anyone like you before, and there never will be again. I think it's become kind of, especially in London, it's become an important role within the queer community. It's become a massive kind of standpoint.
It has, yeah.
Do you feel like a certain responsibility sometimes that's kind of like, we need to keep this, especially right now when people kind of come from broken homes or people who still don't understand, because we're still on a massive fight and a massive mission for this world that we want to be a part of. Is it sometimes like, okay, whoa, pressure and some sort?
It's funny you should say that, actually, because before the pandemic, I was feeling very heavy with responsibility. And having this time off has made me, I guess, feed my hunger and my desire for this wonderful thing. And it's so needed right now. I mean, we can live like this virtually, online, and that is the beauty of social media when used correctly, is that you can find your community. But there is nothing better than finding a safe space in real life.
Completely. And
connecting with people that understand you, celebrate you, lift you up. And those spaces are disappearing so much, especially not just around London, around the UK. And I'm a resilient cockroach. When things are falling away, I'm punk about it. I'm like, no, I'm gonna
fight for it.
I'm gonna burn things down until we get to do this again. So yeah, the fire is well and truly burning.
Dude, absolutely. I mean, I think especially kind of like with me as well, like I relate to that so heavy. Like the other day saw a show of mine on YouTube. Someone just put on a song for reference of a song, and then we ended up watching the whole gig. And I was just like, I need to just be in that place. Like, I need to feel like I am with my people again. I literally, by hook or by crook, by any means necessary, we're going to get back to that place, you know?
I think you've got to keep that fire burning. You've got to keep driving it forward, because even when we're not in a pandemic, people are always wanting to stop freedom. They're wanting to stop choice, and they're wanting to stop what is seen as recklessness and wild free abandon.
People loathe people being free because they're afraid of it. Because freedom is unpredictable. Freedom is uncertain, and that's the sick thing about freedom. Like, and if you're a free person, that's the magic in it.
But don't you find, though, that the people trying to control that don't realise that what they're actually doing is just driving the freedom and the fire
exactly,
even more?
Yeah, exactly. They're pouring gasoline on the fire, and I love it. You really did help bring drag and drag performance into the mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Like,
thanks.
Is it mad to see it all over the telly now? Now, like, you kind of were there from the underground movement till it being like, let's go. It's on the telly now. You know?
I mean, it is crazy. I can't deny it, because I think right now, you know, our current, we have a drag contest every year where we find a new queen. The current reigning Miss Sink the Pink is Bimini Bombulash, who is on Drag Race.
That is so crazy. Yes. So you basically training them up.
Yes, exactly.
Literally just like kind of putting them through boot camp before the
and also
go to war.
Ginny Lemon, Astina Mandela. It's amazing. I think it's funny actually, because drag has become the kind of poster child for Sink the Pink, but it is actually about self-expression. You can come wearing a dress made of poster. Yeah. You can come naked if you want. I don't care.
I love that.
In fact, do it. But drag has always been at the front line of every social revolution, and I think, yeah, it is amazing. I mean, we started the same year that Drag Race started, actually, and there's no coincidence in our rise alongside that. And I've often said that Sink the Pink is, I always think, more comparable to sort of new romanticism and punk than it is to drag. But drag adapts. Drag isn't just one thing, although you might see it on a TV show wrapped, because it has to be as a TV show, right? It's competition. But you come to Sing the Pink and we have bio queens and we have bearded queens and, you know, whatever. Anything goes. It shouldn't... That's the one thing for me about drag when it has a TV show is that you have to almost kind of create this measure of success.
It's so weird. Yeah, you kind of put a boundary on it anyway, because it's like, this is what it is to appear to the masses. When, yeah, man, that's what's sick. Like, we got to keep it punk, man.
Well, I like watching a performer with a bollock hanging out the whole way through.
Dude, I love that, man. Same. It's just like, I heard a story about Vivienne Westwood once, and this is like the punkest thing ever. She apparently, Sadler's Wells or something, did a performance in a clothing, and she literally was like, front row, been invited, and kind of a whole team had put this thing together. 10 minutes in, she stands up and goes, "This is pretentious fucking bollocks," and walks out. And I'm like, this is so Vivienne Westwood. We got to keep that in the world, man. We just got to keep that reckless freedom, and you just got to drop a bollock sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I have a very pendulous sack, so I always drop a bollock. Can't help it, even if I try, especially in the warm weather.
Oh man, you've made me laugh so much. Oh man, that's what I'm saying. I couldn't wait to go on this call. We've been very naughty. So, as I say, Pride and over the pandemic, man, I get a lot of DMs from kids finding it really hard, because it's not the be all and end all every year, because, you know what I'm saying, to be who you are should be celebrated every day. But to that event that you get to look forward to go with your friends, it's like a festival every year. That having been taken away is hard. It's like, have you kind of found the same thing, like within kind of the community from Sing the Pink, or yourself, or everything like that? I
think Pride for me is always, it's not just about the queer kids, it's about the families. Like, absolutely. That's the joy, you know. I remember one of my, just on a personal level, one of my most powerful moments in London Pride was when we were, this is so surreal, but fuck it. We were all, we were all doing a float, and we were all dressed as Patsy and Eddie from Absolutely Fabulous.
Oh my God.
Of course. And,
obviously.
We're like walking down, and my family were all in the crowd, and I sort of went over, grabbed my little baby niece in my arms, dressed as Edwina Monsoon with these giant fake tits, and just held her in the parade. And for me, it's bringing those worlds together. It's that level of visibility.
Absolutely.
And, you know, like, not just queer kids, weird kids. We spend so much time in our bedrooms, right? I was a bedroom warrior. And we live so much time in our own heads. This is why I'm creative. I lived in my own imagination for so many years.
Exactly the same as me.
Creating a world. I create in a fantasy world. So when you get to walk in a street that you might walk every day because you go to work in a department store, to then see it come alive, and everything that you've dreamed in your mind is then on the streets, the power of that is transformative. And that's why Pride is and will always be so important. And more than that, I march every year in Pride, as many as I can, because I can, and because a lot of people around the world, in places where it's not even, you can't even wave a rainbow flag. It is my absolute obligation to stand there with my giant fake tits and my bollock hanging out, carrying my niece down the parade, damn it.
Dude, it would be. It's like, I remember when I went to Russia, and everything with that, because I'm Pan, and people were going absolutely mental that I was going on stage in a dress. You know what I mean? I was getting death threats online, and it was crazy. And it just kind of really, again, when we were talking earlier, when you kind of get told you can't do something, I was literally like, right, as soon as I land, I'm landed in a skirt. I was like, take me to Red Square, let's get a picture.
It's like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That defiance is what we need to keep with this generation, and the generations above us, the generations below us. That defiance to be exactly who you are, no matter what it's going to face you, is what we have to keep burning alive.
But can you imagine that energy and that fire after this pandemic? What that's going to be like?
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be absolutely crazy. I was literally speaking, my makeup artist, Sven, is just the most beautiful man, inside out, everything I've ever met, and he told me, he was like, he misses taking his baby daughter with his husband to Pride, because again, he said, I sat in my room with my imagination going, would I be able to take my baby out with my husband, and now we can walk down the street and it's a celebration. He says, we walk down the street every day and it's beautiful and it's wonderful, but when we do it there, it's like, look at my child, look at my husband, look what we achieved. And he was like young in Frankfurt in Germany, sat in his room like, I don't know how to tell my parents this. And fast forwards that, he says he misses that so much.
I really miss it. I miss the power of it. Is really overwhelming. I think until you've, I always say to people, I mean, you're hear me on this, but until you've walked in a dress, until you've walked in a pride, you cannot open your minds fully. You need to actually walk it.
Put it on. Absolutely. And that's the thing. Dude, I literally remember the first time I put a dress on. I think I was like 11 or 9 or around that age. And I went to my next door neighbour's house and she was like, let me give you a makeover. And I was like, oh yeah, cool, whatever, sick, like laddie as well. And I remember putting one of her dresses on. I was like,
it's powerful.
I felt really sick.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. I was like, this is cool. And then I remember literally just like putting him on at the bus stop with me hoodie. You know what I mean? And I was like, this is sick.
Yeah.
I just felt it. And that's what I'm saying. I will just encourage everyone out there, man. Keep that fire burning. Keep just being you, man. If you like frightened to death, there's no rules. Just try it. Just fucking try it.
And keep, there's an amazing, one of my drag mentors, John Sizzle. He owns a pub called The Glory in East London. And he is like a mentor and a guide for so many of us, like trouble starters. And his advice for everyone is fuck things up.
Absolutely. Always, man. It's literally like, or it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same unless we put some creases in the fabric.
Yeah, so true.
You know what I mean? We want a bit of crease in the fabric, man. Glyn, you're the best, man. I love you so much. Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
Honestly, I can't wait to like get completely out of my mind. I would love to come and do a DJ set or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Or a stage dive. I think you should just run out in a dress and do a stage dive.
Dude, I'm absolutely down. I want to just come and just like let you lot do what you want to me and just jump into the crowd. Let's go.
You'll be like me, getting fingered from every angle.
Oh, yeah, baby. Thank you so much, man. I love you. Pleasure. Have an happy day. This is rock and roll. Glyn Fussell, everybody. Love ya. The man, the myth, the legend. What a guy, man. Glyn, absolute legend. If you are of age, lol, go or sink the pink. If you're not, dream about it, because trust me, one day you're going to lose your mind there. If you want any more info or support on the LGBTQIA plus community and issues, you can search online for BBC Action Line. Subscribe to this podcast because it's the best podcast in the world on BBC Sound Spot episodes. I love you all. See you later.